Some highlights from last week's weather, and so many states east of the Rockies were involved in that compilation there of just lightning, thunderstorms, hail, all sorts of things.
Yeah, it was one of those weeks that every single day we had some sort of severe weather threat somewhere, and it did kind of change every day. As we head through this weekend and into next week, that does kind of continue. Yeah, which means if you're gearing up for summer, maybe you have to kind of take it slow through spring. I'm already like full summer modes here. So Memorial Day marks the unofficial start of summer, 22 days away. Yeah, we are officially, it's the first weekend of May, so we're getting closer there, but it may not quite feel like we're getting closer to summer with all of the rain that some of us are seeing this weekend. Yeah, we are really dealing with this storm system that doesn't want to leave and actually stick around for more than 24 hours, just kind of stuck overhead. So Indiana, Kentucky, see that spin right there? That doesn't go anywhere. It continues to pump moisture up the East Coast and into Northeast and New England. Well, there's another storm system on the map to the west. Yeah, out to the west, it doesn't look like much, but it's going to linger, especially into the desert Southwest, into the Rockies for the next couple of days, and then eventually works its way into the north central. All the while keeping things cool. 64 in Los Angeles, in Indiana and Kentucky. Look at this big storm system. Look where it's centered, right there over those two states where they meet along the Ohio River. Watch as we head throughout today into tomorrow. The spin still over Indiana and Kentucky, maybe arguably the west. You will find the next storm system, already pieces of energy getting strewn off towards east from it. So that means we won't really get a full break to dry out even through the middle of the week. There it is. It kind of almost looks like it's two different storm systems, but it is one. There's the upper level low just sitting and spinning with the moisture underneath it. Off towards east, you have that warm front lifting northward, so it's not cold in places like northern Vermont, but we are getting the showers to the south. Moist flow kicking in and some thunderstorms still forming here along the Chesapeake Bay. So we do have the thunderstorms out there today too, because as we lift all this energy to the north, there will be pockets of sunshine. That's the fuel. That's the spark for some of those thunderstorms to be on the stronger side with damaging winds. Notice though the numbers. Like I said, not all that cold to the north. Burlington 59 for you, 71 in Boston, 73 in Washington, D.C. We're still in the 70s in Pittsburgh. There's cool air off towards the west with all the persistent cloud cover. But when you get that sun to break out, those thunderstorms, they're anywhere from western New York through central and western Pennsylvania, even parts of West Virginia and Virginia. This low doesn't go anywhere. Monday, Tuesday, more of the same. We have the easterly flow kicking in too off of the Atlantic, which not only fuels the chance for more clouds and rainfall, but in a few locations it'll help to knock the numbers down a bit. I told you Boston today towards the 70-degree mark. Well, we're not there tomorrow, and New York City dealing with temperatures in the mid-60s. We'll take a quick peek at this storm. Again, sitting and pinwheeling. Sunshine comes out. There's some of those thunderstorms stronger here off towards the east. And then as we work our way into the overnight hours, not everything completely dies down, but there's still that chance for rain. Thunderstorms reinvigorate as we head through tomorrow afternoon, or at least some very heavy showers. Take you to Naples, Florida. The days are getting warmer, but nights can still be a little bit on the chilly side in some areas. And for gardeners, the final freeze of the season often means they can start flower beds and vegetable gardens. Ariel Scalise spoke this week with AccuWeather Senior Director of Forecasting, Dan DePodwin, about when we can expect to end the frost and freeze risk. Well, if you are looking to plant something across the northern tier of the nation, of course, we have this kind of mild pattern set up and drier pattern, at least for now, off towards the southeast. It is cool, not cold, so that's the good news, across some of the Great Lakes, including places like Chicago, that still keep the clouds, the showers, the wet weather. I'm sorry, I wish it was a little bit better for you, but we're going to keep that chance of a little bit of rain there. As you work your way off towards the northwest, though, check out some of the numbers here. 78 for the high in Minneapolis. Fargo headed to 83. As you push your way to Rapid City, 84 for the high. Really pleasant weather and feeling like summer already. But as we go through your Monday, you start to see some of this moisture creep its way in from the west, which means Scottsbluff, you could have some of those showers and thunderstorms rumbling their way on in as the low, the same one that's caused that persistent moisture off towards the east, continues to sit and spin. In fact, Green Bay, you could see a shower. We'll keep that expanse over states like Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and even some parts of Wisconsin. Well, off towards the west, there's those thunderstorms breaking out in a place like Scottsbluff, so we'll add in that chance of rain as we go through Monday. And then we'll start to see more of this pattern break its way a little east as we head into Tuesday.
It's going to be hard to view the skies here across Texas and Oklahoma because we're back into a pattern of rain. So I think we were talking about that meteor shower kicking off this week, and it's just not going to be an easy time to do it because we will have this flow pattern coming in from the storm system throughout the west. Starts up the winds, by the way, and the fire danger today across southern Arizona, southern New Mexico. So that will be one of those threats. Well, off towards east, we're just dry, less humid, a needed break after all of the recent rains across states like Oklahoma and Texas. So we do get the beautiful weather in Dallas that we've wanted for so long. Sunny 78 degrees and also 73 in Oklahoma City. A nice day coming in Corpus Christi at 82. Then we get into tomorrow, and well, there could be a few thunderstorms tonight with large hail. We'll see a lot more of that activity as we head through tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And
thanks for sticking with us here on AccuWeather Weekend. Well, meteorological summer is just weeks away, and it's shaping up to be a warm one for many. Well, as the west we go now, where it is definitely not feeling like summer quite yet. We have a system that's been moving through this weekend, and with the drop in the jet stream, we are seeing temperatures much lower than where we should be this time of year. Las Vegas, for example, you should be in the mid 80s. Instead, we're not even getting to 70 for today. Sacramento, the exception to the rule, a little bit warmer than we should be this time of year. But this whole trend is going to continue into the start of the work week. So we're going to start to see the rain in places like Southern California wrap up as we head into your Monday. But the cooler air, that stays in place for places like Phoenix and Albuquerque. We get the rain and thunderstorms with it as the system moves farther inland, even some snow into the Rockies. Now, in some areas, we're going to see a little bit of a flood risk. In other areas, it's not going to be enough rainfall to lead to any kind of ponding or flash flooding, but it's enough that it could make the roads a little bit more on the slick side. Now, we are into spring, the start of May, the first. Let's talk about the North Central now, because for some of you, it's going to be feeling like a perfect spring day, summer day that you might want to get out and about, but have to keep in mind some of those things that we were just talking about with the ticks and other things like that. Now, for some of us into Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, for example, as we head into our Monday, we're still dealing with the rain. We have this area of low pressure that is just set up in the Ohio Valley. It is not going anywhere. So we're just getting round after round after round of rain. We move further to the west, and it's high pressure that has taken over, keeping things mild and dry. But you can see our next system already moving in from the Rockies. It's that system in the west that I was telling you about. So as we look ahead to Tuesday, not a lot of change. We don't really see that system move too far into the North Central, and we do finally start to see the low pressure disappear. It's moving off to the east, which means the rain is soon to follow. So let's take a look at future radar and exactly how all of this plays out. Through this weekend, it's mainly been Illinois and Indiana getting in on the rain and the thunderstorms from that storm system. But into Monday morning, we start to see Michigan really getting in on some of the rain as well. So keep that in mind for your morning commute. Maybe you run into a few scattered rain showers and maybe a few thunderstorms here or there. It's going to be one of those days that it's going to be very off and on. So you can't just think, okay, the rain is past, I'm done. You'll want the umbrella on standby, the rain jacket right by the door to grab on your way out. And the AccuWeather free app and our MinuteCast feature can really help you out if you're trying to just avoid the rain altogether, because it'll tell you for your exact location, okay, rain is stopping in 10 minutes, rain's starting again in 30 minutes, things like that, that you might not be able to just tell on your own looking at something like radar. Taking a look as we go throughout our Monday, we do still see that storm system hanging on, but the next one's starting to move into the Dakotas here as we go throughout the rest of the day. We put this back into motion. We head into Tuesday, and we're not seeing a lot of eastern progress with that system. We still have that area of high pressure kind of set up, keeping things out, and the other system to the east, that's starting to exit. So Indiana, Illinois, you're starting to be done with the rain by the time we get into Tuesday. Taking a look at our temperatures the next